Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Holistic Ease podcast. Today, I want to talk to you about how to be more successful with healthy change, especially when it comes to the beginning of the year, fresh starts, anytime you need a reset, anytime you want to make a resolution or a goal, or you have intentions of some kind to change something. Last episode, I talked about some things that might be missing from your New Year's resolution. Today, I want to talk about a few things to add in. Yes, sometimes additive approaches are more effective than thinking about all the things you have to take away. In fact, this is one of the pieces of advice that I often give people that I'm coaching for making changes with their nutrition is that instead of focusing on what foods you're not supposed to be eating or what foods you're going to label as bad, I want you instead to start focusing on what foods to add in. Fill half of your plate with vegetables and so on and so forth. Sometimes we don't realize how profound those additive approaches can be when it comes to healthy changes and how much more enjoyable those additions can make the process of change. Because let's face it, making change can be really, really challenging. And as I talked about on the last episode, our brain, no matter what, no matter how excited, no matter how committed you are to your healthy change, your brain at some point is going to hit a phase called resistance or deception. You feel like you hit a wall, you don't want to keep going, you're going to talk your way out of it in every way, shape, or form. And if you don't know that that's part of the process and that there's something beyond that, if you push through, you might quit. What I find is that with that knowledge and then also adding in some things to help assist on a more comprehensive level with long-term lifestyle change, people not only have an easier time with change, but they enjoy it and find more fulfillment in it. And isn't life, after all, about the process and about being, about living in the moment rather than always looking to the next thing, the next thing, the next thing? I know that's one of my intentions this year is to learn to be more present. And I'm going to do it by adding in some things. So here are my top 3 things I want you to consider adding into your routine when you are thinking about making any kind of healthy change. Number 1, first one, super fun. Very, very big buzzword right now too, is self-care. Now, a lot of people imagine self-care to be like, I'm going to sit in the bubble bath every night with a glass of wine, or self-care means a spa day, or self-care means I have to be able to pay for a personal trainer, whatever the case may be. What I'm going to say to you is self-care is whatever self-care is to you. I talked to a client this week and she identified that her greatest self-care is taking time to read. For me, my self-care is spending time in nature by myself, going by myself out into the hills, out into the woods, out into the prairie, whatever. That's my self-care. There's a lot of different ways to cultivate self-care, and many of them are free and available to most of us. So I want you to think a little bit about what self-care means to you, not what it means to somebody that you follow on social media or what it means to me, but what does it mean to you specifically? And when you think of that self-care thing, can you see using that self-care as a non-negotiable in your life? For me, Monday night yoga, restorative yoga is a non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. Nothing is going to get in the way of that. Not because I'm going to yoga so I can lose weight or look better in my jeans. It has nothing to do with that. For me, that Monday night restorative yoga class restores my soul. It fills me up. It helps me to come back to my center, to get grounded, to be able to hear my inner voice better. Why all of that is so important, is so crucial, is that those things are what help me to show up the rest of the week after that and do the hard things that I need to do that are difficult, that are provoking growth, that are causing me to question, that are making me push beyond my doubts, my limits, whatever I think they are. So think about what your self-care needs to be for the healthy change that you want to make currently. One of the things that I really love to enjoy for self-care is sound baths. And if that is something that you're curious about, I've done a couple of previous episodes on sound therapy and sound baths, and I'm actually offering these in my members only group now. You get not a free one, you get a sound bath every month. Along with that, you get a recipe, a healthy recipe of some kind, either from an herbal standpoint or essential oil standpoint. I give you some reflection on a certain topic. This month's is going to be about inhabiting who we really want to be, the fullest expression of ourselves, our fullest consciousness. You also get some exclusive discounts with that. But what most people are really, really curious about are those sound baths. The sound baths have a way of turning off the monkey mind in the brain and allowing the body to go into that really deep, really restorative, really nourishing state of relaxation that we rarely, if ever, get to anymore in our modern world. So if that is intriguing to you, I want you to go over to bit.ly/memberscollective and get yourself subscribed to that. You can cancel at any time if it ends up not being your thing. But this is a way for you to practice in some self-care by doing some sound bath time with yourself and just allowing yourself to let go and be. But again, self-care needs to be whatever it is for you. What is going to restore you? What is going to fill you up? And how do you make that a non-negotiable as you're moving through making healthy choices, healthier routines for yourself? Okay, second thing to add in when it comes to healthy change is multiple modalities. In other words, multiple angles, multiple facets to approach the same issue. What I mean by that is, if you have a goal to change your nutrition, you want you and your family to eat healthier this year. Great. Let's not just approach that by pinning a bunch of healthy recipes on Pinterest. Now that's great. I have a giant healthy recipe board on Pinterest, like massive. I use it all the time. But what about approaching that from a couple of different angles, different modalities? Oftentimes, the reason that we are grabbing those unhealthy foods is because of stress levels. So maybe we need to address the stress level of mom and dad so that mom and dad can make better choices for the food of the whole family. And what that might look like is practicing grounding techniques. It might look like using some essential oils. It might look like going and getting some counseling for yourself. It might mean going and getting a massage. It might mean using adaptogenic herbs. There's so many different ways to approach just that facet of why making healthier choices as a family might be difficult. Okay? Maybe the healthy choices are difficult because there's all the advertisements on TV showing your kids all the stuff that looks so enticing and is so yummy, but maybe is not giving them the nutrient density that you really want them to have. Okay, so how do we approach that? We don't necessarily need to take that away, but let's add in some other things. Let's add in more time outside. Let's add in some outdoor activities wherever possible. Let's make some healthy meals with our family and teach our kids to cook with us, especially with us all more at home right now. There is more of an opportunity to have more time for those types of teachable moments. So there's lots of different things that you can do, even changing your family's movement routine together. Are you getting out and taking a walk every day? Are you getting fresh air and sunshine? Doesn't just need to be when there's a sporting activity or when you're on vacation. You can start to make that a habit that you as a family do together. So adding in multiple modalities. This is one of the things that I designed my one-on-one VIP coaching to do. We're not just attacking healthy change from one tiny little pinprick of light of, oh, I'm so hyper-focused on that. We're like, no, that's the thing I want, and I'm going to bring all of the tools to the table to change that thing. So using multiple modalities. Third is personal support. And again, this needs to be whatever personal support is to you. I have seen some really interesting studies that have come out recently that even peer-to-peer coaching, so not necessarily an expert coaching you as a person that doesn't know as much, but even just having a friend to talk to that is also working on up-leveling, is also working on healthy change. Maybe that has gone a little bit further along the path than you have and has some more ideas for you. but is not so far ahead of you that you feel intimidated to ask questions and those types of things. This is a type of support that is free to many of us. There are many online communities, so whatever your thing is that you're wanting to change, getting plugged into an online community can really help for people. Getting plugged into some kind of faith or spiritual community can be very helpful for people. And one-on-one coaching that is targeted can really, really help to change the game for things. The reason why is because it helps to have ongoing accountability. And the reason why that's so important and so key is that you want to have that long-term lifestyle change. You can't make long-term lifestyle change by an intention that lasts 1 week long, an emotional high that lasts 1 week long. It's not actually possible for our bodies to maintain that level of inception excitement that we get when we decide to make a healthy change. When we can check in with someone weekly, monthly, daily, whatever it is for you, it provides that ongoing reinforcement that we need, that whatever we are feeling, whether we're feeling like we want our healthy change or not, we're committed to do that. Why? Because we will often show up better for other people than we will for ourselves, which is a whole other podcast in itself, isn't it? But it's just a fact. It's just a fact. We will often show up better for other people than ourselves. So if you have an expectation to show up for someone, report in what you've been doing, share any of your concerns, share any of your questions, you create a constant rescaffolding and rescaffolding and rescaffolding of the new structure that you're creating with your long-term lifestyle change. And this is exactly what we do with my VIP one-on-one coaching program. Over those 12 weeks, you get to check in with me every single week on a check-in phone call. You also can text me anytime you have questions or concerns, or you're feeling stuck, or you're like, I don't know what's going on. That is the kind of support that I intend to give my energy to for my VIPs in this first quarter of this year. So if this is something that you're interested in, do not delay to get yourself onto a free discovery call with me. All you need to go to bit.ly/discoverwitherin, all lowercase, and you can set up a time for me that works in your schedule where we can talk and we can figure out if VIP one-on-one coaching fits your life best right now, or if some other form of support would work better for you, if some other form of bringing in additional modalities into your lifestyle would work for you, if some other form of self-care would fit best for you at this time. So let's explore that together. I'm really excited for you to just get more out of what you're investing your energy and your time into by giving yourself more to work with. So let's let the new year be about additive goals. Let's let it be about more. Let's think about how much more expansive that we can be with ourselves, with our self-care, with the support that we give ourselves and to each other as we continue to work on those healthy changes long term. That's what I have for you for today. Please comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you're listening on your podcast app. I do really appreciate those shares and those 5-star reviews, and I'll see you next time.